Somebody asked me about the swing feel in Irish Jigs and sent me this video of, well, I'll play it to you. So this feel, so you've got a kind of dun 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 dun, which is like a 2 against 3, 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3. And he wanted to know about getting a click in PolyNome that was similar to that. And I've been playing around and I thought I would demonstrate a couple of features that are fairly unique to PolyNome that can let you play around with feels like that. So what I'm going to do is use the 2 rhythms in PolyNome. So first of all, I got the tempo, which is about 132. I just tapped on the tempo and then tap. So you can tap on here till you get a tempo. And then if we were to put triplets in here, so if I edit the rhythm and just put in a triplet, that's approximately the tempo. So what if we wanted to play around with this triplet and move the 2nd and 3rd notes and have flexibility over where they occurred? And that can help to give us like a pseudo triplet which has a swing feel to it. Typically when you're swinging patterns, you're swinging the offbeat 8th note. So for example, if I edit this rhythm and put in straight 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I can swing the position of that 2nd 8th note. So in the faders down here, there's a swing fader, and you can see as I move this, that right up here, it shows you swing is 100%, all the way down, and if I long press on the fader above it, triplet swing is 33%, long press again, dotted note swing, which would be 1E and A, is at 50%, and 100% swing essentially will move this note all the way over to the next downbeat. So you can move the position of this anywhere from the offbeat 8th all the way to the next beat. So let me demonstrate that. I'll play, I'll push up the bar fader so we can hear where note 1 is, and then I'm going to gradually increase the swing. I'll tap on this fader so I can get a big one. So let's go to 10%. Now you can hear it's a little bit swung, 20%. Almost a triplet. That's actually a quintuplet division. If I go to 30% and tap above, so that's a perfect triplet swing, and I can keep going. 50% is 1E and A. So I can move that note until we get to 100 when it's on the next note. So we have now full flexibility of moving this note anywhere up until the next note. So say we want a triplet and we want to be able to move the middle note of that triplet also. I'm going to tap on the plus right here and edit this rhythm. And let's see, I'll go and edit rhythm and I will enter triplet. I'm going to long press on this button. Oh, actually, tap edit here. I'm going to take out those middle 2 notes. So now what we have here is the middle of a triplet. And actually, if I tap on these 3 dots and choose allow rests, I can show that more clearly as the middle of a triplet. So if we hear these 2 together with the swing fader down, so what we're hearing there on 2 different bongo sounds is straight 8th notes and the middle of a triplet. So let me mute the middle of the triplet. So now we're just hearing this rhythm up the top. And then if I put this back in, now we're hearing the middle of the triplet. And if I take this top rhythm out, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. So PolyNome has in the mixer down here on the right, you can see these 2 delay faders. And these will actually delay when the rhythm occurs. And you can choose by tapping on delay what the maximum delay should be. So right now, the maximum delay is a 16th note. So if I say the maximum delay is an 8th note, then by pushing up this fader, I can delay the position of this by up to an 8th note. So if I play, I'll mute rhythm 1. So that's the middle of the triplet. If I start moving this delay fader, So you can see when it's 20%, that's delayed it to pretty much the offbeat eighth note. And if I keep going, so now it's delayed it to 75% is approximately the let of a triplet, and I can keep going. Okay, so that allows us to move that middle note of the triplet. So by using these two things together, the swing in rhythm 1 and the delay of that middle note, we can come up with triplets which have those middle two notes in various different places. So let's start with a triplet by setting the swing of rhythm 1. Okay, so there's our perfect triplet. And now let's try making the last note of the triplet a little early by bringing that swing down. Okay, somewhere like that sounds good. And then let's change the delay of sequencer 2 to make that middle note a little bit later. So that's the high bongo that I'm moving. Make it a little earlier. And I did say that around 20% was the offbeat eighth note. So it could be a straight eighth note with moving just the triplet, but I really just wanted to demonstrate how you can set up a rhythm in PolyNome and have flexibility to move different components of it like this. So another approach might be to use something like a quintuplet and use just parts of that rhythm in order to get your swing feel. So here I have a new preset that I called Jig Quint. I'm going to edit the rhythm here. And this time I'm going to choose 5 down in this bottom right hand corner and tap on this button to add a quintuplet. And then I'm going to take out the 2nd and 5th notes and see how that sounds. So that's got a similar feel, but that's very specifically a quintuplet, and there's no options here to change the positions of any of those notes with faders or anything like that. But we could also play around with doing it with a 7. So let's edit this. What might we do there? See what that sounds like. Okay, I don't think that's it. Let's edit this and put in, let's try this one. No, the quintuplet was closer, but you can play around with any different division you want, and you might find that if you take a 19-tuplet, for example, and take out all but 3 of those notes, you can get them exactly where you want for that perfect feel without having to mess around with faders. So that's just another approach that you could take to get something that's not a triplet. Find out more about PolyNome at polynome.net.